Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Deus Ex Human Revolution. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today here at Picus as we go through things that we absolutely unlocked very easily as well last episode. Anyway, hey Ari, I think we might have to bring the issue higher up about the Australian Civil War coverage. It seems they haven't learned from our past mistakes. They're going way too far in the stance they're taking on the issue. Our motives are barely concealed, and it's on the verge of being pure propaganda, not even biased journalism. Don't get me wrong. That's funny. This is not... well, I guess... I don't know. This works. There's a misunderstanding of what the word biased means. Biased journalism. That's the first thing you learn in journalism school, is that you are always biased. Always. You know, also because that's what the word means. The word just means perspective. What is your perspective? And you might be biased about something, but you when you say biased, that's shorthand. You're doing a shorthand thing. You're like, for example, if I say, I don't know, if I say, Facebook sucks, and then you accuse me, you're biased. That's a shorthand. And the problem is, because it's a shorthand, it's so used, it can fit in this thing. But in specifically the context of journalism, and good journalism at least, it's very important to understand how that works, because you can't be a good journalist if you don't understand that no matter what you do, or no matter how you report things, you're always being biased towards something. And when I say biased here, again, it is the perspective. The mere act of reporting on something is biased. It is biased towards, letting people know that's something, at the very least. And the fact that you chose that instead of something else is part of your bias. And you need to be aware of that bias so you can be as impartial as possible, which is the other word that they didn't use, and they absolutely should have. Not even partial journalism. And that is... Actually, I see that used every once in a while. Again, I was saying last episode that this game's dystopia in regards to information is not as bad as the dystopia we live in, and it's another one over here because look at the propaganda factory that they have, being like, oh, we need to be a little bit conscious of our journalism thing. It's like it's almost pure propaganda. We can't have that. You don't know anything, Deus Ex. Don't get me wrong, writes Julian Seguin, potentially. I know what our job is, but there's ways to be subtle about it. It keeps... Also, this is like that... Oh, it's just freaking... it's not a fault of the game or the writers of the game, what I'm about to say. But it is... It goes over... It can go over people's heads. In terms of, the criticism or the satire that the game is making about the Picus being a propaganda machine, as we've seen throughout the game. The way it works isn't about, like, you see this, I know what our job is. Here it's implied that they know that their job is to, sort of, it's what we've been reading in these computers. It's to spread information in a certain way, to keep people thinking a certain way. It's the 5-year-old kid that they said that that's just a... Last episode we read the masses, or a group of people has I think it was the masses. The masses have the intelligence of a 5-year-old, or a group of people. It was specifically about people as a group have the intelligence of a 5-year-old, which is really dumb. It is really bad, because intelligence is not a cumulative thing. It doesn't work like that. A 5-year-old will have, for example, certain capacity, or a certain capacity for individuality that a 20-year-old will have as well, but it won't have, I don't know, the capacity. Actually, I don't know. I think at 5 years old, the kid already knows that other people have opinions. But like that dynamic, I think it's like at 4 or 3.5 years of age, kids develop the ability to understand that other people have opinions, and not just opinions. The other people have a different perspective than their own, and that's like a specific stage of learning and all that. But obviously that doesn't apply to the masses, because that's just you're just saying they have the intelligence of a 5-year-old. That's not scientific. You're just saying that. That doesn't. Either way, what I mean to say is that how this works in real life is that people get picked to work at Picus that already agree with the Picus stance. They're not so much going to be receiving the propaganda from the higher-ups. to spread in a way. Oh, this week we're spreading that the election was stolen, and they're doing that. No, they're all like the people working at Picus would already be selected in a way that tends to, and not necessarily every time, but the vast majority of time tends to make it so that people working here at Picus would already agree with the propaganda that they would be spreading. And this works. This is the problem with journalism, and specifically, one of the, I say the problem with journalism. I'm oversimplifying, but the point is, it has to do with a biased thing. It has to do with us having difficulty. Journalists need to be more aware of that than normal people, but normal people have the same problem. We have difficulty understanding the limitations of our own biases. And when I say bias, I mean perspectives. The limitations of our own perspectives. Or it's not just perspectives, because when it isn't applied to journalism, it also means intentions and goals and aspirations and a bunch of other stuff. Bias is kind of complicated, but the point is, because, for example, I have a Let's Play channel, and I'm biased towards interesting writing, and I really, really like when games make me think and make me ramble about stuff. This game I really, really like because it makes me think and makes me ramble, so I'm biased towards that. If I say, for example, if I play a game and I don't like the writing, or rather than not liking the writing, I say I don't like this game. I played the game and I don't like this game. You can accuse me, and rightfully so. You can accuse me. When I say this game, I'm just using an example, not this game in particular. Imagine I can give you an example actually. The Pathfinder Kingmaker, for example. If you will go and watch my last episode, you can hear my opinion about how I feel about that game at the very end. And you can accuse me, and rightfully so, of being biased. And I am biased towards writing that makes me, talk about, makes me think about things and makes me interested in certain perspectives and certain characters and all that sort of stuff. And this game definitely puts me there. But this is a dangerous thing to write. It's just dangerous. And also, the thing is, as I just said, it's not the fault of the game that the people at Picus are being portrayed this way, because they need to make them more goofy and more cartoonish. But, in the sense that, they're getting their lines fed from the higher ups and all this sort of stuff. That's their job. It works better that way, but it isn't how real life works in this regard. When news corporations are propaganda machines, it's more pernicious than this. It's more scary. It's much more institutional, and it's not as much about everybody working there being unscrupulous and being bad. It's because that's the problem. That's the real horror, honestly. in this sort of, when you think about this, the people working at I'm not gonna name any publications, but people working at a certain let's just keep with the Picus. The people working at Picus here in this game, they're all horrible because they know what they're doing. They're all horrible people, but that doesn't work in real life. And actually, now that I think about it, it is also a problem of it's dangerous because people tend to turn against journalists because of that, and journalists are the first line of defense against basically tyrannical governments to begin with, but certainly against something like what we see in Deus Ex. It's the fact that these journalists here at Picus are not doing real journalism and are just spreading propaganda that allows the powerful here in Deus Ex to have their power. It's what we read last episode. They know the information is power and all that sort of stuff. That is exactly what the game is talking about. Unfortunately, the game talks about it in a way that doesn't point to... It points in the right direction, but it doesn't point to the right mechanisms through which that happens in real life. Is that the people who were... if this was realistic, I'm going to say it just once again, if this was realistic, the people chosen and picked to work at Picus would already agree with the higher-ups. They wouldn't need none of this nonsense about propaganda and biased journalism and all that. They already are like that. They're chosen to be like that. When I say chosen, I mean like in the job application process, and usually Picus is very important, so this probably wouldn't have even job applications. They would just reach out to certain journalists and be like, hey, do you want to work for us? And they'd be like, oh yes, I love you so much, please, and stuff. That happens in big publications as well. But either way, like that I'm gonna get out of my soapbox. If it keeps getting like this or going like this, it's going to be the second Gulf War fiasco all over again. I'm pretty sure they want to be able to buy their way out of an official investigation for a second time. Anyway, hit me back and we'll work on a quote impromptu unquote pitch for the next meeting. I don't know why that's between quotes. Is it the same writer that uses dashes instead of periods in initials? No, it's the... yeah, it is. It's the one that doesn't know how to use quotes. Right. That's fine. These things need to be edited. They need to be edited. They need to look... People need to look over these things and just correct all the weird grammar nonsense. Grammar nonsense? Grammar nonsense is what I meant to say. Either way, that's pretty good. Let's see where this is going. Look at these drawers back here, with all the money that we absolutely need. Ooh, there's a drawer up here, with a pocket secretary. Ma chère, my dear, here are... Oh, there it is. Here are my new passcodes. I don't need your passcodes. I don't want to read those. Those are not as interesting as the rest. And if the rest already looks very obviously written by the same person, the passcodes are going to be repetitive. They're not meant to be read, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just skipping them. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a transfer here. We should have plenty of time to get a nuke here. And then...
Access granted.
There we go. Inactive. Fantastic. Okay, so looking around, I think we left some stuff behind, but I can go back. It's not a problem. These computers look so ugly. Why did they make these? Oh, well, I know why, actually. It's good that the monitors are ugly, because you want to be able to identify the computers if you can hack them or not before you actually get close to them, because otherwise it's just a pain. You know how it goes. Is this an elevator? Well, it is, but it isn't. Oh. I came here before. No, I did not. I got a Peps energy pack. I don't need it. Actually, I have a bunch of them, so I think I have a bunch of them. I might have just gotten 20 right now, and that was all that I have. Yeah, there's nothing here. It's just those computers that aren't computers. And because the cameras are all disabled, we don't have anything to fear. Why is it called a mine template, I wonder? Could it be that you make mines? Like, you have to combine them with other things? It's like a... It doesn't have the charge. Just the... It's got a name. I don't know the name of the thing. I don't know the name. The deliverer. It's sort of... It's a synonym for deliverer. The medium? I don't know. It's like a thing. There's a specific term for... I don't know if for mines it happens, but it definitely happens for other things like that. Container. Nah. Anyway, you have to admit, it's pretty damn cool. Dude, what is up with that crazy ass miniature... It's an ass miniature moon interactive... Wait, what? Interactive spear thing they've got in there. Seriously, this is a Bond villain stuff. I even think I saw a guy stroking a cat and throwing an evil laugh. This is a seriously intense waste of money. Now I know where my annual bonus went. It's pretty damn cool though, writes the other person. Is the game really dissing on the cool statue thing? Because if you're gonna take it seriously, like, you're gonna have to take me seriously when I say that the computers are ugly. Because I'm joking when I say the computers are ugly. This is for your benefit as a viewer. Hopefully, it's for your benefit. Hopefully, it doesn't infuriate you, because it might. I don't mean it seriously. It's difficult to convey what I mean seriously and what I don't. But I don't mean it seriously that the computers are ugly. They are ugly as sin. The ones that aren't hackable, I mean. But I can do that, right? Yes. Good.
Access granted.
But that, you know, I'm just saying goofy things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the game. The stuff about biased journalism, that changes the game. That's very important. I'm serious then. Anyway, congratulations. This is just a short message to congratulate everyone on the handling of the Washington hearings. This was a very important issue lying at the very heart of the interests we at Picus aim to defend. According to various analysts and poll firms, our campaign around the hearings made the pro-regulation parties gain... Parties? Did the United States Is it? Maybe it's not political parties. Either way, gain as high as 32 points in various polls. Congratulations. Hey Emily, I was just going through some old files for a client prep. You know how they love. Oh, this is the original email. Yeah, and that's more of the thing about journalism changing the perception of things. Again, it doesn't work quite like that. It's a lot more pernicious. It's about the talking points, really. It does depend. It does depend on the issue, and it does depend on the power that each. I think we're good here. Yeah, this is the stuff that they were referring to. It just looks cool, in a video game kind of sense. If it's in real life, then it's on the nose and bad, but it's not in real life. It's in a video game. But yeah, that last email that we read, it in real life, how it works is about the talking points. It's about the arguments that open up for politicians to use in the defense or attack of certain of legislation, whatever they feel like. Because if you hear a journalist, and this is more dynamic than necessarily predetermined, but if you hear a journalist on Picas going like, oh, let me think of something that would happen here. We have the pro-life situation. No, not pro-life. I'm sorry, the other one, the pro-something. It's whatever. Oh, look at that ultra-wide screen monitor. Proper stuff. I wish I had one of these. They all suck though, the real-life ones, because it's so large of a space that it's difficult to maintain color accuracy. So they tend to suck. They're very expensive, but anyway, got a new code over here. Yeah. So the what happens is, imagine somebody at Picas goes, there are doubts about the longevity of certain like, I don't know, the longevity of new enhancements applied in, you know, in the, not eugenics, what is it called, this thing, and so people have been raising issues. Oh, there's a robot over there. People have been raising questions about, you know, how long they're going to be able to rely on them working in the long term and all that. And if they start talking about this stuff and bringing in, I think we're going to be fine. Bringing in experts or quote unquote experts and all that sort of stuff, then when a politician is speaking to the public and decides to make an argument against augmentations, that's the word, they can use that with knowledge that the people will know what they're talking about. It's not necessarily that they will agree, but it's a talking point. And you can see this happen very easily. If you pay attention to this as a dynamic, you can see it happen very easily in real life regarding talking points. Things that people don't talk about will suddenly, you know, be talking like regarding, you know, real life stuff, not augmentations. But they'll suddenly become things that people will argue and all that. Arguments usually are the easy pickings there. There's other stuff as well, but arguments, just certain trains of thought, you know, to defend a certain issue. And that all comes from just, you know, because, you know, everybody listens to the news. Or I say everybody, but the point is there's a multitude of people that listen to the news, and it allows for the sharing. It's the original memes. It is literally the original memes, by the way. It's what it actually means. I see you. There it is. I was ready to press space. This is what it actually means. The spreading of information and ideas. It is, yeah. If you look for memetic theory. Actually, wait a minute. Fallout. The original Deus Ex actually references the memetic theory, you know, by name. Because, you know, it is fundamental to this sort of narrative. It doesn't really do much with it, but it mentions it by name. Back then we hadn't invented the word memes. So there's a cooling system here. It's probably for the rocket launcher. I'm still gonna drop it though, because it might be for something else. And it is not for any of this. There we go. And it is not. What is it for? Examine. Plasma rifle. Well, we're not going to use it anyway, but sure. Automatic unlocking device, that is what I like to see. There's Sniper rifle ammo, nothing important, all things considered. And so that spreading of information or ideas allows for people to hang on to some of them and just, you know, share opinions and make it better as well. Because sometimes it's just an idea that's not very well developed by whoever wrote the article or whoever is the journalist or whatnot. And, oh, this is not an elevator. This is where these guys come from. Right. But people, by arguing with each other and using it as an argument, they'll sort of, they'll make the argument a little bit better or fit it to different contexts that make it a little bit more arguable, more I say arguable, more defensible rather. And so certain things that might even not start out as anything that people care for. Oh, this is the 5-year-old thing. How does it say? A crowd? A crowd. Yeah, specifically. A crowd has the mental age of a 5-year-old. This is bollocks. Although if you're making the argument that it has, and you're saying, so we must, you know, it's a pliable mind, we have control over it in a way that isn't necessarily, that kids are not necessarily aware that you have control over them, then you're correct. You know, a crowd has difficulty realizing as a whole that you're controlling them. But, you know, the analogy only works so far. It doesn't, you know, it's not an analog, a direct analog. It doesn't work for everything. And the argument being made in that particular email is, it has a 5-year-old, so we must treat it like a child and educate it and send it to school and make its meals. I'm making fun of it though. It isn't quite like that, but it is in that same vein. I think we've been everywhere. And we passed over there. Yeah, I think we've been everywhere except for maybe down here. And so yeah, so just to buttress my point here, the mechanisms through which Picus controls people are made up. I mean, they're not made up as in, you know, it's obvious that in real life they could happen like that. A Picus could exist like this, but it requires the full cooperation and knowing cooperation and secrecy of everybody working at Picus. There are scarier ways of doing this, is what I mean to say. Healing Thyself, Health Preservation Implants. Excerpt from an article by Hugh Darrow in the American Cybernetics Gazette, Summer 2014 edition. Your car leaves the road on an icy night. You're alone, too injured to call a paramedic. What will keep you alive until help can arrive? That starts off already badly, but let's rephrase that to the benefit of what the writing is supposed to be. You have a crash on an icy night, and you need to call a paramedic. What will keep you alive until help can arrive? For all the augmentation systems at our disposal, there's little dedicated to the well-being of a person. Little in the way of emergency management for our health. What is needed is a next-generation design for an implant web. Not a single device, but a networked combination operating from a durable monitored module implanted in a highly survivable body zone as the master. Did you understand what that sentence was? I did not. Multiple distributed wireless probes in all major organs given constantly updated by a data linked to secondary units located at key nerve or bloodstream vectors in the heart, perhaps the adrenal lymphatic nodes, and a level of autonomous response that could keep a person alive even without the intervention of the implantee. That's all one sentence. Yeah, basically, let's not read that, otherwise I'm just gonna be upset. Just, you know, we must make sci-fi stuff for this video game. That is what that is. Don't worry about it. It doesn't make any sense. None of it. Scientific or literary. Or prosaic. Whew. Man, that's difficult. And we read all the things. Okay, so we can go to our objective. Cameras are disabled. The Illuminati symbol. Wait. Is that the symbol of Picus? That isn't. That is the Illuminati symbol. You can't see it from afar, interestingly enough. I like that. It's a little detail. But I'm pretty sure it isn't the symbol of Picus. I'm almost certain it isn't. We'll be on the lookout for it. Picus, it might be. I remember Picus written, not necessarily as a symbol. So sublevel access data storage 80211. Oh, it's like an Area 51 kind of thing. Except it's the Illuminati. Also bombs. They're very bad bombs that don't work, as you just observed. Don't worry. Totally safe. I don't like this noise. Oh, it's the purring cats. Oh. Curious. Wow, it turned... I know. It turned around. That's where more of them are, by the way. Oh man, none of these computers... What is that? We got vodka? I don't need vodka, thank you. That's, I don't think there's anybody here. I hope this guy doesn't come where I'm at. Please don't. Okay, turn around and I'll shoot you. Yep. Okay. Oh, it'll see us. Merciful soul, man down. He was gonna complain, by the way. I heard that. Come down here. Yeah, that's me being a merciful soul. Tasing you in the butt. And then pulling you around. My god, look at those muscles. But what do we have? Typhon ammo? Yeah, it's just nothing. Okay. Stun gun darts. And there's something else up here, but I can't carry it. Now, let's hack this. Level 3 hacking. It shouldn't be much of a problem. It isn't. But I got lucky.
Access granted.
Okay, disable the cameras, disable the robots. And we're safe. What is that? It's a machine pistol. It's also the end of the episode, I just noticed. So, for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Deus Ex Human Revolution. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.